As a 2:14 marathoner knocking out a local race every week, you'd think I'd be picking up a fair few wins along the way. Think again, my friend. This is Japan, a whole different beast. The land of marathon monks, where victories are ever so elusive, and I'm yet to win a single marathon in my 2 years of living here. Some would say running 280 kilometers as a taper probably isn't the best way to go about it. Well, challenge accepted. Let's try to rewrite the science today. So we're off to Kanazawa for this season's marathon opener, a chance to scratch that racing itch and get a solid training effort in to test the fitness during this Valencia marathon build. I've actually been here before on holiday with my fam and liked the traditional vibe of the city. So when I saw there was a big marathon here, you know I couldn't resist. It wasn't quite the peaceful place I remembered though when we touched down, and the station was swarming with fellow pavement pounders who had taken over the city for the weekend. After battling the crowds and securing my race bib, I was in desperate need of a recharge, so there was only one thing for it. Straight to Omicho Market to sample the local scran.
すみません、少し撮影してもいいですか？大丈夫ですか？ありがとうございます。わあ、美味しそう。
So I came across this popular grilled seafood spot, and with Kanazawa being right on the coast, I had to give it a go.
はい。ありがとうございます。
So I hit up this little grill spot. It's looking kind of expensive. It's come out at 1,800 yen. By Japanese standards, that's like a full set meal normally. So I don't know, have I been scammed? Have I fallen for a tourist trap? We'll find out. We've got a little bit of eel here, unagi. This stuff's ridiculously good normally. And I went for some seafood. We got octopus with some like sweet sauce. And then this one, I can't remember even what I ordered. Some kind of seafood, but yeah, this market's known for its fresh seafood delicacies. Let's give this one a go. Yeah, this is banging. Can't work out what seafood it is. I basically just picked their number one. It said like number one ninki, like number one popular. So we went for that one. All right, next up, time for a little bit of octopus tentacles. Yeah, that is solid. So it's a nice little sticky sweet sauce on the edge. It's good. Is it 1,800 yen good? Don't know about that one. Let's see if the unagi can deliver. So Brits watching, you might be thinking eel, what is this about? We have jellied eels, some traditional British scran. Not the most appealing, but nah, the unagi here, this is like grilled eel with this sticky sauce. Incredible. It's kind of fatty, but also crispy, juicy, sweet. It's just banging scran all round. With the Japan scran, you've got to take price into account. And for the price of this, I could have got about 2 set meals from Yoshinoya. Could have eaten for a whole day, so I think I've fallen for a classic tourist trap, but no, this is solid. All in all, what am I gonna give it? Taking price into account, I'm gonna go 6.8 on the scran to Japan scale. Somewhat underwhelming. So a rare L for the Japanese cuisine, but Kanazawa redeemed itself later that day with this whole set meal for cheaper than those couple of market tasters. This one had sashimi, seafood miso soup, fish cakes, a savoury egg custard, and a whole load of other little bits and pieces. So I've done some solid exploring around Kanazawa. I realised that I've actually barely filmed anything. So actually the race announcer, he works for this big like broadcasting studio, like the main one in Kanazawa. He hit me up before, and then he actually invited me around the broadcasting studio. So it's unreal, like getting this full tour around, like the behind the scenes, how it all works. Everyone was very surprised to see this random ginger guy boffing about. Like, it's obviously all Japanese there, and there is like a fair few tourists in Kanazawa, but it's definitely not on the level of like Tokyo or Kyoto. So I like it. It's a little bit quieter still. And speaking of which, oh my God, I have got a rant to Japan for you this week. I've just got off the train, the most uncomfortable half an hour of my life. I cannot believe it, and I can see why there's so much anti-foreigner like movements in Japan. There's a whole government party aimed at kicking the foreigners out because all the tourists are causing a nightmare. And I was sat on this train, and this woman just suddenly comes on. She's like in a rush, and she's like trying to ask all the locals, like, is this the right train to get to Shibuya? And obviously no one speaks a word of English. I was like, oh yeah, stay on this one, you go here, blah, blah, blah. And then she keeps chatting to me and like, okay, yeah, she's being friendly, but then she's speaking so unbelievably loudly. If you've ever been on a Japanese train, it's dead silent. There's like an unspoken rule that you don't speak on the train. Everyone's like knackered after work. They're trying to just chill, relax. And you've got the most obnoxious foreigner just yapping at me for half an hour. And I'm like so uncomfortable. You can tell all the locals are looking over like, fuck me, like this is unbearable. How can someone have so little self-awareness to just not realize? So that is my rant to Japan. If you ever come here, just look around, see what the locals are doing and try to follow along. Don't be that unbearable foreigner that's like littering or just like getting in the way of everyone, just being a complete nuisance. Because even speaking a tiny bit of Japanese, you can see online like the locals are getting pretty pissed off with all the tourists. But there's a reason why Japan's so perfectly clean. Everything's efficient, smooth. There's no theft, no stealing, like all of that shit's unreal. And that's just all thanks to the Japanese culture, like the traditions, just basically how they live. So let's try and not fuck it up for them. How about that? But with that rant out of my system, let's get back to running and the little matter of this marathon tomorrow.
So I'm on a little pod now, just exploring around. I'm staying right near the castle, and I think that's where the race starts tomorrow. So I don't really have a clue about the course. Like I have come here before, but I think I just ran like along the river. But from checking the course map, it looks pretty flat, easy, runnable. The weather though, it's meant to be like heavy rain tomorrow, which I'm absolutely buzzing about because it means it'll be cooler. And the Japanese guys hate the rain. I'm not sure why, but for me, oh yeah, it's business as usual, obviously being a Brit.
And what about the old plan of attack?
And just like the Yamagata half, I'm coming in here with a game plan to do this as a training session. Obviously, we all know how that one went, so we'll see whether I can actually stick to it and stay disciplined. So this is one of the key long run training sessions in the build up to Valencia. Well, I'm gonna try and lock into 320s for the first 30K, so kind of steady pace, like hopefully that doesn't feel flat out. And then from there, I'm gonna pick up and cut it down to target marathon pace, which would be 305s. So I actually did this exact training session at Yoyogi last year. It's easily the best session I've ever done. In fact, it's probably the best marathon I've ever done, because I actually knocked out a 2:16 marathon in training around Yoyogi Park, doing this exact session, like the exact same. So that was before Tokyo Marathon.
So this should give me a good fitness benchmark, because you heard me crying about how hot it is all summer in Japan, which has meant my paces were thrown off completely. But then thanks to the Kaizen app, luckily I've been able to get a proper gauge of what kind of shape I'm in, even when I can't hit those target paces. So we can see that my marathon race prediction is trending upwards as this block progresses. So a few weeks back I was coming in at 2:11 mid, so I was already in PB shape here, which I was pretty confident of after the ridiculous summer training block. And Kaizen here analyzes your training over the past couple months, and we can see that I was averaging 260K a week, and that's including some down weeks and little tapers and that. So it was a pretty monstrous shift, and I'm a firm believer that running is a simple equation. You run more, you get faster. And that's the direction we're heading, as my marathon prediction coming into this race was creeping into the 2:10s. So I'm right on track with 1 month to go until Valencia, and I just need to keep aiming for these weekly training targets from Kaizen, and I could be joining that elusive sub 2:10 club. You can give the app a go for free with the code RANTOJAPAN and use it as a training tool in your arsenal to keep you consistent and progressing over time. So here we go, race morning. I feel very chill about it, to be fair. It's pretty nice. The start of the race is like 1K from here. So I've got up at, I think 5 AM. The race doesn't start till 8:30 or so. So I can just go through my routine. I've even got to finish editing my thumbnail for tomorrow's video, or today's video even, yeah. Things have been pretty busy this week. So it almost doesn't feel like I'm racing, but that's kind of good, like takes the pressure off. And I've just got to get in my classic morning scran. So we've got the coffee there, bit of caffeine. Then I'll go a shot of Nomio, we'll get that now. Get one of my 5 a day in. But yeah, that's the magic broccoli sprout concoction for lactic buffering, and it definitely seems to have been helping recently. Oh, I'm also just sipping on some like carbohydrate mix. I think it's 80 grams of carbs in here, but I'm trying to top up now. And then I've gone for a little onigiri rice ball. This is the egg and soy sauce broth one. Unbelievable. I think it's the best onigiri they do. Yeah. And I've actually got another of them, so I'll probably tuck into that. I don't want to go too heavy, because I know before in the past I've maybe overdone it with the old carbo load, got a little bit overexcited. And so I've just got a little doriyaki, or a bit of a monster actually. This is a unit, and I think it's got, yeah, red bean paste in the middle. You should know by now, pancakes are my absolute go-to. I think they're unreal for digestion. Don't know what it is, but this stuff is just magic. Goes down a treat. Now let's hit the mean streets and soak in that glorious British weather. So I've just headed out, I'm moving towards the start. It's annoying actually, the rain's like basically stopped. It's just a tiny little drizzle right now. I was hoping for some filthy weather because I know everyone else would hate that. But I mean, at least it's cold now. Like it's so much cooler than any race that I've done this year. So it definitely does feel like being back home in the UK. Could just do with the clouds opening up again. Maybe we've got a couple hours, I think, until race starts, so it might pick up again. But you know what, compared to last week's Legacy half, yeah, this should be very calm. Dead still as well, no wind. So even if I'm on my own for a lot of it, like having to work through completely solo, that's all right. I reckon we can lock in. And not long after, we were in business.
All right, just in time, I've got my wish. The rain's just started coming down, so yeah, very nice. Let's hope that picks up and it just turns into a filthy British-esque day. I'm feeling pretty good though, fresh. I was looking last night at my competition, yeah, seeing there's actually quite a few good runners, like around that, maybe 216, 217. I think there's one guy though that's actually ran a 212 before. I think he maybe used to be a Jesse Jordan, like kind of pro runner, but I don't know if he's in that kind of shape now. But I reckon if it's similar to last year, that kind of standard, then that would be ideal.
We bloody love it. So we get to the start line, as usual, they make you wait around for ages. So I'm just sat there chilling, trying to stay warm, but I was actually quite enjoying the nice little chill there, a bit of cold weather. But this was actually a massive marathon, like 15,000 people. So it's definitely one of the biggest. And they had this whole like elite guest list here. So all of these big names apparently in Japan. So one of them, oh yeah, here they've just got Mizuki Noguchi, who's the old Olympic gold medalist before, like legend, one of the best Japanese runners ever. Oh, and then this girl, they seem to hang on to her for ages. Like everyone went mental when she got announced. I think she's some actress, like big name, like A-list celebrity in Japan. I've never seen her work, but as you can tell, she's a bit of a talent there. And then we can see on that start line, we had right on the far right over there, that's Takezawa. So that's my mate from the last race, the Tokai 10K distance. You know, I had that DNF. In fact, both of us, we were double DNF partners. So this was our comeback redemption race. Oh, and actually after, I completely forgot about this. One of the guys is a pro runner. He's ran 2:12. Oh yeah, no, here he is in the black Nike kit. So Fukumura, he was, yeah, chatting with me loads after. And yeah, he's got a rapid PB. So I guess I wasn't the fastest on the start line. But the rain started to ease off and eventually we got underway. So I was expecting it to start off quick. So looking at other years, like I've seen the kind of times they're running, even though the winning time's usually around 2:17, 2:18, in classic Japanese fashion, they go through halfway on for about 2:14 pace. So I'm expecting to just run my own race, kind of sit back, and you can see me maybe just in the middle. It's tough when I've got the white cap, I feel like I don't stand out quite as much, but we've got an absolute mass of people here, the wave, just everyone rolling along on the train, and actually our little pack at the front. So we started off pretty slowly, and I found myself right near the front straight away. Now the trouble we've got is I was thinking I'm going to be on TV for the next 2.5 hours nearly, because there was a camera, so there's this lead bike and he was filming the whole time and I'm right at the front of the pack. But then watching this whole live stream back, there's none of this footage here, literally nothing. So I'm not sure where that footage is gone, like what's going on here, but there just seemed to be a whole load of other stuff. Like they're obsessed with this actress here, tons of footage of her, but almost nothing of our group at the front, even though there was a quality race going on. So I kind of decided at the start, all right, it's not going too quick. So I'm actually going to control the pace. I can bully the other runners, get them to sit behind me and basically slow the whole race down, because I'm trying to keep it at more like, yeah, 2:20 marathon pace through to 30K and then let rip after that. And I know how the Japanese work. They see me, this unit of a foreigner, and everyone's like, oh, perfect, let's get a free ride, sit behind him. So the tactic worked to perfection. And the groups just sat behind me because I'm just doing all the work, sitting at the front. So I have my 5K split here at 16:35. So that's bang on 2:20 marathon pace. And again, I'm just leading the race the whole time, sat at the front, perfectly through 10K in 33:19. So again, dead even splits, those sort of 3:19 pace per K. And I think it was around this point where one of the guys kind of lets loose. I guess he's got fed up with my pacing and he's like, right, I'm gonna go for it. This isn't the Japanese way. We can't be taking it conservative. And I'm hoping the rest of the group doesn't go with him. I'm trying to cover every move. Anytime someone starts surging, I'll just surge in front of them and then just drop it back a little bit. So I'm subtly, I don't know if people are even realizing it, but I'm basically controlling a pack of like 20 runners there single-handedly. But one guy, he slipped through my grasp and he got away. But I thought, okay, that's fine. We can let him go up the road. So he got a fair gap, but then we kept the splits even. So again, through 15K, that was a 16:30, and then another 16:30 through 20K. So we're just kind of cruising. No one really wants to go, and the gap's not getting any bigger now from this chase runner who's in front. And as the Ks tick by and no one's made a move, I'm getting more and more excited. So as long as it stays slow like this, then I should be able to pick up a whole lot from 30K and catch people off guard. And we knocked through halfway here in 69:56. So just dipping under that 2:20 marathon pace. But as you'll see coming up, we let rip later on, and it ends up getting a whole lot quicker than that. Now I still can't believe they've only cut back to this guy here when they've missed the whole first 10K when I was getting all this free TV time. I'm absolutely gutted. I'm waving at the crowd. I was even pointing at the Brooks logo on my shirt. I was like, yeah, get a bit of free promo out there. None of that has made the cut. So I think you can just about make out in the distance the chase pack, but it's still, on TV it looks kind of far. Might be, I don't know, 300 meters or so, but we were slowly gaining on him. So we're now an hour 24 into the race. So we're like 25K or so. And this is where, yeah, you can actually see just behind. So we're starting to close in, and quite quickly he's kind of tying up. I guess his splits are dropping and we're actually ramping up a bit. I say we, I mean me entirely. So the last couple splits, we had a 16:20 and then a 16:19. So we're just slowly working it down. I'm trying to just test the field, and I think a couple guys are starting to drop off now, falling back behind. But it's still a massive group at this point, when usually it would be completely torn apart. People would have gone off way too hard. But I think my plan, in fact, backfired completely. By controlling the whole race and getting these guys to actually run an even pace or negative split, which is probably the first time ever in a Japanese race. They will have never not positive split in a race. So for them, this was crazy, and I might have just shown them a whole new tactic. And my plan, obviously, at 30K is to let loose, and we actually just catch up with this guy just before, maybe 29K or so. We swallow him up and move straight past. I'm thinking I want to absolutely unleash, like out of nowhere, almost like a kick, but still with 12K to go. Because I'm trying to catch the field completely off guard and just hope that everyone's thinking, okay, let him go. Like, there's no way we can keep this pace. So when I go, I properly go. And of course, they cut the coverage just before it. So we missed this legendary cartwheels kick of mine. I checked down at my watch, maybe 200 meters in. I'm running like 2:45K pace. That's like quicker than my 5K pace. But I can hear some guy just behind me. So I feel like the group's gone already. Within about 200 meters, there's literally just one guy there. But he's kind of sitting on my heels. We went through in, I think, a 2:59 or 3-minute K from that 30 to 31 points. So it's a massive acceleration. But from 30 to 35K, we split a 15:36. But I'm pretty surprised this guy's sitting on me. But he's a guy called Harada, and I hadn't heard of him before, but he'd ran a 2:17. He came third 2 years ago, and then second actually at this race last year. So he's on an upward trajectory, and we're in a battle now for that first place spot.
一般参加のジェイク・バラクロフ選手です。イギリスのロンドン出身、現在は東京在住。来日3年目の28歳です。格闘技に挑んでいたこともあります。現在は8週連続でマラソンレースに挑んでいて、先週は東京レガシーハーフマラソン、そして今後は東日本駅伝ですとか岡山マラソンも控えているという、1ヶ月の走り込みは1000キロ近くにも及ぶというランナーです。
And so I look big, powerful, meaty right here, especially compared to this tiny little classic Japanese figure behind me. And he's got such a smooth style. I feel like I'm rocking and rolling all over the place. At the time, I wasn't exactly feeling comfy. I think earlier when it was that kind of steady pace, I was like, yeah, I'm absolutely cruising. But once I picked up that little injection of pace, I could start feeling the 280Ks sat in the legs. And then unfortunately, you lose me now as they cut back to the actress for about the 20th time during this show, who's clearly a much bigger draw than me. The Japanese public clearly love her. So at 35K, I actually start to slip a tiny bit, drop like a 3:12 here. And that's when he just cuts past me and unleashes. And then at about 38K, suddenly out of nowhere, another figure comes flying by, which I couldn't believe. I saw I'd look behind and there was no one. And then bang, it was Takezawa. So our boy from earlier, a rival from the Tokai distance 10K. And then he's timed it to absolute perfection, cut it down. And he actually dropped to 15:25 5K 40k, from 35 to 40k, and he's gone and run a PB in the end, absolutely destroyed it. So the top two guys, I've basically pacemaked them to their best time ever, even though the conditions aren't great, the course isn't the quickest, this is definitely nowhere near like a Tokyo level race. But just thanks to the even pacing, I've slowed them down, so then they've had all this energy at the end, which usually no one has in a Japanese race. But I'm pretty buzzing with the performance. I did slow a tiny bit there at the end. It was a 15:57 for my final 5k, so I couldn't quite hold it. But all in all, it was a near perfect training race execution. I actually stuck to the game plan for once. Couldn't believe it. No one backed me. No one on Strava said that I was going to do it. They said, oh, I'm going to lose my head and just go quick like always. Like the game plan would go out the window. But you know what? I actually nailed it this time, but it still wasn't quite enough. But straight away at the end, I got pulled over to the interview booth. So I can treat you to another live Japanese interview.
男子総合3位となりました。イギリス出身のジェイク・バラクロフ選手です。まずは今日のレース振り返っていかがでしたでしょうか。
はい、このレースめっちゃ楽しかったです。実はイギリス人なので雨本当に普通です。イギリスいつも雨降ってるので今完璧ですよ。じゃあこのレース最高でした。ありがとうございます。
今日のご自身の記録タイムいかがでしたか。
はい、さあこのレース練習みたいな今年のメインの目標バレンシアマラソンサブ10、目標です。さあ今日一番大事な練習30キロまでステディペース30キロペースアップできてけど優勝者強すぎました残念ですけどはい頑張りました。
Oh man, that was a near perfect session race execution. So close, but yet so far. In the end, I think I was thwarted by a little 280k's sitting in the legs. Just a little bit heavy in the old Thunder Thigh department, but you know what? I gave it a proper good shot. So I'd say this was, a good redemption. After the legacy half, I was slightly worried. I was thinking, oh shit, maybe I'm anemic or like, what's going on? Maybe I've overcooked it, but there we have it. He's back in business. The cart horse keeps on ploughing. Now let's catch up with Takezawa for his race debrief.
前は一緒に東海ディスタンスだね。ちょっと最悪のレースだ。
ちょっとあれはもう暑いし風もあったし、ちょっとだらしなかったかなっていうところで。
さあ DNF から今日すげえメドルまで2位。
いやもうずっとジェイクが集団を引いてくださったおかげで、もう最後余裕持ってペースアップすることできてました。
はい。さあ37キロから2位なりましたね。
そうですね。そこの前にジェイクに追いついてなんとか投げることができました。
早すぎた。本当にラストスパットすげえ。
And it turns out his recent fine form is all down to one new change.
シークレットガールフレンド。
いやもうガールフレンドのご飯のおかげですかね。
ガールフレンドのおかげで自己ベストできた。
間違いないです。
タイムは
2時間17分6秒。
おめでとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
お疲れ様でした。
And how about Saitaka, who's a member of Team MK, the old training group I did all those endless Yoyogi Park laps with?
インタビューしましょう。今日はどうでしたか。
今日は私はもう練習だったんで、2人に比べると全然でしたね。でも40キロ走って意味ではちゃんと走り切れてよかったです。
今年のメインの目標那覇マラソンだね。
12月那覇マラソン。
目標優勝
は表彰台には乗りたいですね。頑張って。
チーム MK みんな頑張りましょう。
頑張りましょう。ジェイクもバレンシア。
そう。ファイト。Let's go.
So the season's heating up and things seem to somehow be going according to the unorthodox plan. Now the best part of any Japanese race is of course the prizes, which we're gonna have to save till next week, but you've got that unboxing to look forward to. I hope you've enjoyed this one though. This has been Jake with Ran to Japan. I'll catch you in the next one. Remember, train harder, not smarter.